everyone, I'm Sheree Mullen and this is my Learning Teaching Interaction video number 3. These past few weeks we got to do a lot of interesting readings, so I'm going to start with our first reading that we did in chapter 3. It's the Principles of Program Evaluation. I kind of wanted to focus on vision and goals. So basically when we have a vision for something, we need to look at the big picture and figure out what we are wanting to do. And that leads to our goals. And so our vision is our big picture on, hey, this is our broad topic, and our goals are the specific things that we want to accomplish and what will determine the success of that program that we're teaching. So a statement usually can be made that has a lot of meaning and kind of specializes that topic and applies it to an individual or a family or a group. So schools have mottos, families have mottos. I had a family motto growing up. Ours was simple, but it was just Campbell stand together. So my mom just wanted to emphasize that our foundation was that we stand together and we stick together and we are a cohesive family. Also, we went over some program goals and objectives in the reading, and I got to actually apply this reading to one of my assignments in my religion class this week. I was required to make a lesson plan for teaching a certain subject, and I was able to refer back to this reading and kind of refresh my memory on exactly what objectives were. So objectives need to be clear and specific. It helps knowing exactly what we want to do in our program. So the vision is our big picture, and then we have our goals, and then our objectives are what we want to do to meet those goals. So the goals have to be in mind when we're doing the objectives, otherwise it's pointless. Something that I like to do with objectives for me, I'm an outline person, so I enjoy writing something out. So I have an objective, I have my broad statement, and then I have my objective that I want to teach. And then as some sub-bullet points, I have questions that I want to ask. What kind of interactions I want to have with my audience so that if somebody else is using my lesson plan, they can see where my thought process is going with my objectives and the kinds of questions I wanted to ask and where I wanted my audience to get out of those things. I also have the question that I'm going to ask and then the examples of answers that I could be given and how to expound on those things. So I thought that was really important in our reading, and just applying those things in general in order to be able to teach others as a family life educator. Also, we learned about evaluations and how important those can be not just, I think we always think of surveys as evaluations, but interviews are great. We can read emotions on how people reacted to what we were teaching and learning to ask the right questions. Giving a general survey like, was this lesson great? Did you like it? Isn't going to give us productive feedback. We want feedback that can improve what we are teaching and teaching our participants. So I thought that was a great help in being able to be a family life educator. So the next section was about ethics. And ethics is kind of iffy. It's hard. We got to experience that kind of on a small level with the case studies we did last week. The first case study was more simple. It had to do with ethics, but it was more about respecting boundaries and beliefs and knowing where those lines were so that we could facilitate and respect that family that had the specific beliefs on male roles. And then the second one was involving abuse, and that one is much more serious. And for me, I like to have certain steps, like written out steps and rules that I need to do or take in order to just do it right when I'm doing something. And so I think some great advice we were given in the reading were the virtues that were given to us, the 3 virtues that that are the characteristics that we need to embody as a family life educator. So those 3 virtues were being caring, supporting families in their own decisions, even if what you taught them isn't what they want to implement. We still need to support them. It's making sure that they are successful as individuals, as families in their own lives. So being caring and in that aspect I thought was great. Prudence or practical wisdom. So understanding all of the needs of the family members and making decisions with their input. Not just saying, you know what, this is the way you should do it as a blanket statement. We need to take into consideration all those relationships and those things that make a family or an individual function or work. And also, I feel like the most important one is instilling hope and optimism. So, as a family life educator or educators, I feel like most of us are trying to prevent things or problems and help people know how to cope with certain things in life in general. So, the best way to do that is to focus on strengths and positive potential, helping them know that their strengths are what they need to implement in making things better, and helping them know that they do have the potential to do the things that you're teaching them. So those were great kind of characteristics that I thought were great virtues to implement, not just in family life education, but as a person, and respecting other people. And also with the professional ethics aspect of things, it can be hard in knowing what to do exactly in ethical situations. So I like the steps that were given in the Palm article. Identify the relationships. Apply the principles. Identify the contradictions and the tensions. Identify possible solutions, and then select the actions that need to be taken. Those were steps that I liked because I want to have something by the book so that I know that I'm doing it correctly. Just last, but definitely not least, the boundaries between family life education and therapy. So I basically feel like the line is family life educators are instructional. We want to teach and help families or individuals, just generally help them. But therapists are there to help fix problems. And so I felt like that was the deciphering line. Is there a gray area? I feel like there possibly is. But I feel like just making sure we're just instructional and not counseling in how we teach is important. Anyway, so those are the things that I thought were important in the readings. My outline is attached as well. So hopefully that covers most of it. Thanks.